मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशधारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome to our daily morning reading of Srimad Bhagavatam, and thank you all for joining. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. I beg for blessings from Srila Prabhupada, entire Guru Parampara, and my Guru Maharaj, so I can speak a few words in the glorification of Krishna and his devotees. And I also seek blessings from all of you. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. So we are reading from Canto 2, the Cosmic Manifestation, Chapter 1, titled The First Step in God Realization. And we saw that the first canto, it ended with Parikshit Maharaj's question that what is the duty of human beings in general and especially those who are about to die. And the answer is one word, bhakti. But Shukdev Goswami very patiently and very slowly, gradually unfolds this. He establishes the superiority of Bhakti Yoga, and our whole chapter, our chapter, the one we are reading, current chapter 1, chapter 2, 3 of the second canto, they are all dedicated to establishing this one word only, Bhakti. So, in our chapter, chapter 1, first of all, Sukdev Goswami establishes what should anyone never do. And that is to be a grahamedi, work during the day and sleep during the night, or hear prajalpa, mundane topics, topics that are not related to Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is something anyone should never do. And we know when Parikshit Maharaj declared that he is going to fast until death, then a lot of sages from all over the world, they somehow mysteriously they all gathered there. They all came over to the bank of river Ganga. And now some sages in that assembly, they might be following the path of gnana or karma or demigod worship or Ashtanga yoga, and they may all have various opinions. So they might all be thinking that their path is the ultimate path, ultimate duty of human being. So when Parikshit Maharaj has asked the question about the ultimate duty, what Shukdev Goswami is doing, that first of all he's glorifying the bhakti marg. And then he says that even the gnanis, the karmis, the yogis, even the completely self-realized souls, all of them, eventually they all have to come to bhakti only to achieve perfection. And if they take paths like that, it may take longer. It may take few lifetimes, but ultimately they all have to come to bhakti only. And one example of this is the speaker Sukdev Goswami himself. Hmm. Um, So then Sukdev Goswami says that Harer Namanu Kirtanam is the best. And for that, we saw in the verse 13 that we were speaking last Saturday, he says that for that, for Harer Namanu Kirtanam, for sincerely glorifying and hearing the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna, for that, even one moment, one muhurt is enough. And then he gives examples of Khatwang Maharaj. So he is establishing that quality of life matters and not the quantity. And now he encourages Parikshit Maharaj that yes, you can do it. You have 7 days. So okay, then he starts about Ashtanga Yoga. Why? Because he wants to systematically explain that it is not perfect path. It is not the complete path. And we all know, we all studied in Bhagavad Gita about the Ashtanga Yoga. Well, that is expected that those who are hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, which means that those who are sitting in the post-graduation classes, they've already completed graduations. So if we haven't studied Bhagavad Gita systematically yet, then we should at least, hear Srimad Bhagavatam, but at least simultaneously and systematically study Bhagavad Gita as well. And for that, you guys, those who haven't studied Bhagavad Gita yet, they can join the Bhakti Vrikshas, where you can study Bhagavad Gita in the Association of Serious Senior Devotees. Yes, of course, serious, sincere as well. So, anyways, Ashtanga Yoga. So we were saying that we know from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6, Dhyan Yoga, that, there also Krishna has explained in detail about this path, and he has say that this path is not complete. So, what we know from Bhagavad Gita is that Ashtanga Yoga has 8 limbs: Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam, Pratyahar, Dharana, Dhyan, Samadhi, right? So, here, Shukdev Goswami, if you see the verses after the assurance to Parikshit Maharaj that yes, you can do it systematically, one by one, verse by verse, from verse 16 to 19. He describes these 8 limbs of Ashtanga Yoga. He is not naming them, but in the verse 16, he talks about Yam, Niyam, and Asam. Yam means do's, Niyam means don'ts, and Asan means the sitting postures. So, first in verse 16, he says that leave your home and practice self-control. So, that is do's. Then he gives the niyam. You have to bathe regularly at a sacred place. And then he talks about asan. Where are you supposed to perform your Ashtanga Yoga? Where do you perform the asan? So he says, sit in a secluded and sanctified place. And then in verse 17, he gives pranayam. Regulate your breathing and remember Om. And verse 18, he gives pratyahar. Withdraw your mind from the sense activities, and then dharana, fix your mind on the form of the Lord. So verse 9 gives dhyan and samadhi. How to dhyan? It says that you meditate on each limb of the Lord's body, starting from the lotus feet, and then you completely reconcile your mind on the form of Lord Vishnu only, without having any other thought. So that is dhyan that Shukdev Goswami is describing. Now, it all sounds very smooth in theory, but how to actually do it, how to actually fix the mind. And now, if we remember Bhagavad Gita 6.34, Arjun says that Chanchalam hi manah Krishna pramathi balabhadradam tasyaham nigraham manye vayuriv sudushkaram. That, when Krishna is describing the Ashtanga Yoga process, Arjun admits to Krishna that, oh Krishna, my mind is chanchal, it is restless, it is pramathi, it's very agitated, and it's very balavat, very strong, and dridam, it's very strong, obstinate. And Arjun says that tasyaham nigraham manye, to subdue the mind. Vayurev sudushkaram. In my opinion, subduing the mind is more difficult than controlling the wind. So here, when Sukadeva Goswami is describing the Ashtanga Yoga process, he himself, first he says that you need to do dharana, you need to fix your mind on the form of Lord Vishnu only. But then he himself realizes that fixing the mind, dharana step, is not so easy. And why? Because yesterday, when we read, when Sakira Prabhu read verse 20, there Shukdev Goswami says that one's mind is always agitated. Why? Because of the influence of the lower modes of material nature, the mode of passion and the mode of ignorance. And how to rise from those lower modes, how to go to mode of goodness, then he gives the answer in verse 20, and it continues in verse 21 also, which we will read today. So let's read our verse 21 today, 2:1:21. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudiraye nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya भगवति उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय यस्यां सन्धार्यमाणायां योगिनो भक्तिलक्षणः आशु सम्पद्यते योग आश्रयं भद्रमिश्रतः मिक्षतः. Word to word. Yasyaham, by such systematic remembrance, sandharya manayam, and thus being fixed in the habit of yoginaha, the mystics, bhakti lakshanaha, being practiced to the devotional system, ashu, very soon, sampadyate, attains success, yogaha, connection by devotional service, ashrayam, under the shelter of, bhadram, the all good, ikshataha, which seeing that. Translation by Krishna Kripamurti, His Loving Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O King, by this system of remembrance and by being fixed in the habit of seeing the all-good personal conception of the Lord, one can very soon attain devotional service to the Lord under His direct shelter. So Sukadeva Goswami now says that the yogi who sees the Lord through such dharana can quickly achieve their desired goal of liberation. So this is yoga which has some qualities of bhakti. So it's called Bhakti Mishra Yoga. And success in these mystic practices, it also requires some devotion. Why would you meditate on some person, on some person's form for so long without having any other thoughts? You need to have some devotion. So that's why the mystic success, the success in the path of Ashtanga Yoga, in the path of yoga or meditation, or the word Prabhupada used us yesterday, pantheistic realization. In all these paths, the success needs, they can all only succeed when they are infused with some devotional attitude. So some level of bhakti is needed in any of the path. Now let's read the purport. Would anyone like to read the purport, please?
I can read, Mataji.
Yes, please, Mataji.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Success of mystic performances is achieved only by the help of the devotional attitude. Pantheism, or the system of feeling the presence of the Almighty everywhere, is a sort of training of the mind to become accustomed to the devotional conception, and it is this devotional attitude of the mystic that makes possible the successful termination of such mystic attempts. One is not, however, elevated to such a successful status without the tinge of mixture in devotional service. The devotional atmosphere created by pantheistic vision develops into devotional service in later days, and that is the only benefit for the impersonalist. It is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 12.5 that the impersonal way of self realization is more troublesome because it reaches the goal in an indirect way, although the impersonalist also becomes obsessed with the personal feature of the Lord after a long time. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So, in this purport, the core point that Srila Prabhupada is making is that, as we said, even the mystic yogis, even the impersonalists, even the pantheists, those who follow pantheism, all of them, they also need at least some trace of devotion to reach the success in their individual path. And here, in this purport, and also in yesterday's purport, Srila Prabhupada uses this word pantheism, which was new for me. I didn't hear this word before I studied the Srimad Bhagavatam. So pantheism means that seeing the Lord in everything around us, in Prakriti, in material nature, thinking that God is everywhere. It's a good idea. And it's a very beautiful way of looking at the world. And there is no denying in this fact that God is everywhere. But this vision, this pantheistic vision, it limits the Lord only in Prakriti. They think that God is an energy only, and He is not a person. And that's where the problem is. If God is everywhere, then why can't He be in the Vigraha, in the temple as well? But they will deny that. They will, to Archa Vigraha Seva, to deity worship, they will say that that is your misconception. God cannot be in that stone or metal or astadhatu form in the Vigraha. So that is the limitation. And that is why it's not a complete philosophy. So in this purport today, Srila Prabhupada says that the pantheistic vision may help, but only bhakti leads to perfection. Pantheism is only a preliminary stage. Seeing God everywhere is a part of bhakti. Yes, it helps to train the mind towards bhakti, but pantheism, dharana, cannot be the final goal. So, bhakti is essential in any path. And without some mixture of bhakti, the mystic path or impersonal realization cannot be perfected. And this is already confirmed by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita 12.5, where he talks about impersonal realization. So he says that klesho dhiktar sattesham avyaktasam avyakta hi gatir dukkham dehavadbhir avapyate. Is that he says that for those whose minds are attached to the unmanifested, impersonal feature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, for them, spiritual advancement is very troublesome, is very difficult. It's very, that gati is gatir dukkham. It's very, it gives dukh, it gives so much trouble. And the only benefit for the impersonalist is that after a long time, the impersonalist also becomes personalist. It also becomes attached, attracted to Krishna's personal feature. And that is what we know when we studied the first canto. That is what we know happened to Shukdev Goswami. But Krishna himself says that impersonalism is troublesome and indirect way of reaching me. But bhakti is sugam, easy, and it leads directly to Krishna. And that is why, in Bhagavad Gita, 7.19, Krishna says, Bahunam janmanam ante gnanavan mam prapadyate vasudeva sarvamiti samahatma sudurlabha. That after many, many births and deaths, one who is really gnanavan, one who is actually in knowledge, that person surrenders unto me because he knows that I am the cause of all causes and I'm the cause of everything that exists. So such a great soul is very rare. So impersonalist or pantheist, they will say that, there is some adrashya power that controls the universe. So they accept that there is some Shakti is there, but they refuse to accept that there is some Shaktiman, there is some powerful person, there is the most powerful person. So they refuse to accept that. But Krishna says the real Gnanvan, the person in real knowledge is the one who realizes that beyond that Krishna is the person, from him all this Shakti comes. And then, they realize that, and then they are ready to accept Krishna's supremacy and ready to serve Krishna lovingly. And a person who believes in pantheism, they see, they agree that there is some power everywhere. But a devotee can see Krishna in all those powers. Devotee can see Krishna in Prakriti, in all the other living beings, and everything that exists. So that is the real knowledge, Krishna says, and that is the real Vedas. There is one verse that says, Vede Ramayana Chaiva Purane Bharate Tatham Adau Ante Cha Madhye Cha Harir Sarvatra Giyate. That all the knowledge, Veda means knowledge. In all the Vedic literature, including Ramayana, Puranas, Mahabharata, in all of them, Adau, Ante, Cha, Madhye, Cha, in the beginning, in the end, and as well as in the middle, they are Hari Sarvatra Giyate, they are all pointing to one person only, Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So I think we will start verse 22 as well. It is along the same theme. Let's go to verse 22. Vinod Prabhu, can you hear? Thank you. 22. Rajo Uvacha Yatha Sandharyate Brahman Dharana Yatra Sammata Yadrishi Hare Dashu Purushasya Manomalam. Word to word, Raja Uvacha, the fortunate king said, Yatha, as it is, Sandharyate, the conception is made, Brahman, O Brahmana, Dharana, conception, Yatra, where and how, Sammata, in a summary, Yadrishi, the way by which, Va, or Haret, extricated, Asu, without delay, Purushasya, of a person, Manaha, of the mind, Malam, dirty things. Translation by Krishna Kripamurti, His Loving Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The fortunate King Parikshit, inquiring further, said, O Brahman, please describe in full detail how and where the mind has to be applied and how the conception can be fixed so that the dirty things in a person's mind can be removed. So this purport we will read a few lines and then we'll comment something. So we'll read like that. Who would like to read? But I will stop you every now and then, okay?
Harekrishna Mataji, I can do that.
Thank you, Prabhu. Yes, please start.
The dirty things in the heart of a conditioned soul are the root cause of all troubles for him. A conditioned soul is surrounded by the manifold miseries of material existence, but on account of his gross ignorance, he is unable to remove the troubles due to the dirty things in the heart accumulated during the long prison life in the material world. He is actually meant to serve the will of the Supreme Lord, but on the account of the dirty things in the heart, he likes to serve his concocted desires. These
Thank you.
desires
Yes, thank you. Okay, so just like Arjun asked in Bhagavad Gita, that my mind is very chanchal, very restless, I cannot control it. And similarly, here Shukdev Goswami is talking about dharana, that ultimately in Ashtanga Yoga, one is supposed to meditate on the form of the Lord only and nothing else. Then now Parikshit Maharaj is asking, but how? How do we do that? How do we fix the mind? Because there are dirty things in the mind. They first need to be removed. So tell me how that can be done. So in the verses following, Shukdev Goswami will answer that. But what Srila Prabhupada is explaining in the purport is that, he's starting with explaining the dirty things, the malam, and he has translated the malam as dirty things. So the word malam literally means rubbish, waste, or impurity. And on the bodily level, we know that mal refers to stool, urine, mucus, and all other bodily wastes. That are expelled naturally every day as we go. But on the soul's level, mal refers to our anarthas. Manomalam, that is the word used in the verse. The unwanted contaminations in the heart of a jiva, which are not so easily expelled. So Shastra explains that these subtle malas, they bind the soul. So manomal, the mal of soul, they are the six main anarthas: kam, krodh, lobh, moh, mad, matsarya. Lust, anger, greed, the illusion, forgetting one's real identity. Mad means pride or madness, to enjoy, to have the material enjoyment. Matsarya means envy. So all these six, they are manomal. Just like on the physical level, constipation, the inability to expel the literal mal, is the root cause of all bodily diseases. Similarly, for the soul, until the soul removes these subtle mal, these six impurities, they keep forcing the soul to suffer from a disease, the bhavarog. They force him to serve his own, what Srila Prabhupada says in the purport, his own concocted wild desires of his senses, instead of serving the senses of the master of senses, Rishi Krishna. So in one of the verses in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that the living entity, these six enemies that we talked about, these manomal, they bind the living entity up to the neck, around the neck, by the chain of these six enemies. So just like the body feels uneasy until it is relieved after passing the stool, mal of the body, similarly the soul feels feels restless and cannot find real peace until this subtle mal is cleansed. But unlike the body, the soul's mal, anarthas, they are not expelled naturally and automatically. There is some effort required from the living entity, and that effort is bhakti yoga. Let's read further from these desires.
these these desires, instead of giving him any peace of mind, create new problems and thus behind him to the cycle of repeated birth and death. These dirty things of fruitive work and empiric philosophy can be removed only by association with the Supreme Lord. The Lord being.
So, simple fact, one simple fact, how to remove mal of the heart. Prabhupada is giving simple answer. To remove mal of the heart is done by associating with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And how can one associate with Supreme Personality of Godhead? by Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atma Nivedanam. The 9 processes of bhakti that Prahlad Maharaj has described. By hearing, chanting, serving the Lord, doing all these activities of loving devotional service, these are direct ways of associating with the Lord. In His name, He is personally present. In His deity form, He is personally present. In hearing Harikatha, in Srīmad Bhāgavatam, He is personally present. So by all these processes of bhakti, the heart is cleansed. Cheto darpan marjanam. But bhakti is very rare. There is a verse in 6th Canto, 6:14-5, where it is said that Muktanam api siddhanam Narayana parayanaha Sudurlabha prachantatma Kotishvapi mahamune. Among many millions who are liberated and who are perfect in knowledge of liberation, there may be one person who is Narayana Parayana, one who wants to be a devotee of Lord Narayan, Krishna. And such devotees, they are so durlabha, they are very rare, but they are prashant atma, they become very peaceful. So, for those who are not yet ready for being Narayana Parayan, the Supreme Lord, He does not desert them also. For them also, He has one way. And what is it? Prabhupada describes further. The Lord. I'll read. The Lord, being omnipotent, can offer His association by His inconceivable potencies. Thus, persons who are unable to pin their faith on the personal feature of the Absolute are given a chance to associate with His Virat Roop, or the cosmic impersonal feature of the Lord. So, Krishna is all-powerful. He can do everything. He can do anything. So, those who are not ready to directly associate with Him, as a whole person, He gives them opportunity to associate with part of Him, His potencies, His energy. Further, Prabhupada says,
The cosmic impersonal feature of the Lord is a feature of His unlimited potencies. Since the potent and potencies are identical, even the conception of His impersonal cosmic feature helps the conditioned soul to associate with the Lord indirectly and thus gradually rise to the stage of personal contact. Maharaj Parikshit was already directly connected with the personal feature of the Lord Krishna, and as such, he had no need to inquire from Sukadeva Goswami about where and how to apply the mind in the impersonal Virat Rupa of the Lord. But he inquired after a detailed description of the matter for the benefits of others who are unable to conceive of the transcendental personal feature of the Lord as the form of eternity, knowledge, and bliss. The non-devotees class of men cannot think of the personal feature of the Lord because of their poor fund of knowledge. The personal form of the Lord, like Rama or Krishna, is completely revolting to them. They have a poor estimation of the potency of the Lord. In the Bhagavad Gita 9.11, it is explained by the Lord Himself that people with a poor fund of knowledge deride the Supreme Personality of the Lord, taking him to be a common man. Such men are ignorant of the inconceivable potency of the Lord. By the inconceivable potency of the Lord, he can move in human society or in any other society of living beings and yet remain the same omnipotent Lord without deviating in the slightest form of His transcendental position. So for the benefit of men who are unable to accept the Lord in His personal eternal form, Maharaj Parikshit inquired from Sukadeva Goswami how to fix the mind on Him in the beginning, and the Goswami replied in detail as follows. Harekrishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, thank you, Prabhupada. So, if we see towards the end of the first paragraph, Prabhupada is saying he's talking about Virat Roop. So what is Virat Roop? Virat means vast, universal, and Roop means form. So Virat Roop literally means cosmic form. It is the universal form of the Lord in which all material manifestations, all the planets, stars, demigods, all species of all the jivas, space, time, all these factors, they are all seen as a different parts of his gigantic body. So the pantheist person who is trying to see the Lord in Prakriti, they can see Lord's presence in any of these forms. In Bhagavad Gita chapter 11 also, Krishna, Arjun asks Krishna that, oh Lord, if you think I'm able to see your universal form, your Virat Roop, if you think I can see it, please show it to me. So Arjun expresses desire to see Krishna's Virat Roop. And Krishna says that, no, with your current eyes, you won't be able to see that, you won't be able to fathom. So divyam dadami te chakshu pashyame yogameshwaram. With your current eyes, you won't be materialized, you won't be able to see me. So I'm giving you divine divya chakshu, so divine eyes, so you can see me. So, and Arjun sees that the moon and sun are his eyes, the mountains are his bones, oceans are his belly, time is his movement, and all the demigods, they are different bodily limbs of this Virat Roop. And then he sees that countless mouths, eyes, demigods, they are all entering into it. And he sees, that form. He sees it's so effulgent. It's like thousands of suns are shining at the same time. And he sees that all the soldiers from both sides, Pandava's army, Kaurava's army, both side warriors, Arjun says that they are all rushing into Lord's blazing mouths, and they are all being crushed. And then he realizes that this form, this Virat Roop that Krishna has just shown him, is nothing but the all-devouring time, Kal Roop. And then he gets overwhelmed with fear. So then he begs to Krishna that please return to your sweet, gentle, two-armed form that I'm used to see. And that is your eternal spiritual form of Shyam Sundar, the two-armed form of Krishna. So this Virat Roop, this universal form, is temporary, material display. It is a symbolic conception of how the universe is pervaded and controlled by the Supreme Lord Krishna. In 10th chapter, Krishna has already established in Bhagavad Gita that aham sarvasya prabho mattah sarvam pravartate, that everything emanates from me only. So then he displays this fact in this form. But the limitation of this Virat Roop is that it is not personal, it is not intimate, and that is why Arjun also refused it. So in a way, in one sense, this Virat Roop is offered to those people who cannot conceive the two-armed human form, the personal form of Bhagwan. So, next week we will be reading the verses after this verse, verse 21. And in those verses, Sukdev Goswami describes various limbs of Virat Roop, how the whole 14 planetary systems, Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatal, Mahatal, Rasatal, Patal, Bhulok, Bhuvarlok, Swarglok, Maharlok, Janlok, Taplok, Satyalok, how all these 14 planetary systems, they are all different limbs of this Virat Roop. And we must note that, this is not exactly, so this impersonalism that is being discussed here in these verses, it is not impersonal Brahman, that Brahma Jyoti, it is not the effulgence that emanates from Lord's divine body. But this is an impersonalized visualization of the Lord, using the material eyes and seeing him in the material cosmos. So, when a child, they are learning to ride a bicycle, what we do, we first put the training wheels and we hold them from back. And then slowly the child rides and rides and rides and every day does little practice. And when they get confident, one day we remove the training wheels, one day we stop holding them from the back. But the child does not even realize, because, he does not even realize that he has learned to give up the dependence on the training wheels. And that he or she can ride the bicycle without the training wheels. So similarly, this Virat Roop is like training wheels for the mind that is conditioned by the modes of material nature. So by seeing God everywhere, such kind of person can gradually rise to understand his personal form. Now, in the paragraph later that Prabhu just read, Parikshit, he is a devotee. He is not an ordinary devotee. He is a Mahabhagavad devotee. He already knows all this. He already knows that all this is useless. Shram eva hi kevalam, that it is all incomplete path. But then why is he wasting his time in asking further details about it? Because remember, he has only got 7 days. Why is he asking all these further questions into this path that he knows is not worth going for? Why? That is what Prabhupada has answered in the last paragraph. He is doing that for the benefit of everyone. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is saying that Gatir Bharta
7:15.
Nivasah Sharanam Suhrat Prabhava Pralaya Sthanam Nidhanam Bijamavyayam. Krishna says, Gatir Bharta. I am everyone's Gati, the goal. I am Prabhu. I am Sakshi. I am the witness. I am everyone's Nivasa. Everyone lives within my body. I am everyone's residence. I am the Sharanam. I am the ultimate shelter. I am Surat. I am the ultimate, most dear friend of all jivas. And I am Prabhava. I am Pralaya. So I am the creation. I am that annihilation. And Nidhanam Bijamavyayam. So I am the base of everything that exists, and I am the resting place, and Bijam Avyayam. I am the eternal seed. So he's saying, I am Gatir Bharta. I am everyone's Gati. Gati means destination where we want to go. So ultimate goal of everyone, no matter what path they take, is Krishna. Although people don't know it. So somebody, they prefer the universal form. Somebody prefers the conception that everything, whatever we see is God. And there may be someone else who prefers to say, I am also God. Aham Brahmasmi. So all these are different paths, different methods of appreciating God only. And they are all accepted paths. The Goswami is in detail describing all of them. They are all accepted paths because they all ultimately lead to Krishna only, sooner or later. But if there is if there is, for example, 20-story building and the building has an elevator, then, and you have limited time, then wouldn't it be smart to go by the elevator instead of going by staircase? So similarly, bhakti is a direct way of approaching Krishna. So, those who think that God is an all-pervading energy, they are not wrong. They are not wrong. Even Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 9.4 that Maya tadam idam sarvam jagat avyakta murtina. That I am spread all over the universe, all over the manifestation. It is all my avyakta murti. It is my impersonal vigraha, impersonal feature only. The vigraha that we serve, devotees serve, it's personal. Vigraha. But this Krishna says that the entire manifestation is my avyakta murti. So it is all Krishna's energy only, yes. But reaching the goal this way, it will take many, many births. As it is not complete, it is only partial understanding of the Supreme. But Chaitanya Charitamrita very nicely says, direct approach is taking Krishna consciousness. Krishna se bhaje te bada chatur. The one who takes Krishna consciousness seriously and perfectly, he is first of all very fortunate, and he is himself also very, very chatur, very intelligent. So we'll pause here. We read verses 21 and 22. If anyone has any questions or comments, they can mute and ask. But today is Saturday, so in the evening we'll have very nice program in the memory of Sri Ram Vijay Prabhu. And tomorrow is Radhastami. So we all try to wake up in Brahma Muhurat, do the morning program, half day fast will be there. There will be Mangala Arti at the temple, and also Bhagavatam class will be at the temple in person tomorrow. And in the evening, we will have a grand Radhastami festival celebration. So for today's two verses, if anyone has any questions or corrections, additions, realizations, please share. Thank you all for joining and inspiring me to glorify Krishna. As Sakirai Prabhu also mentioned yesterday, hope I did not confuse anyone further, but I've just tried to share whatever information that this relates to from Bhagavad Gita. So, Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam Mahapuran ki jai, Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Have a very blissful Krishna conscious day, everyone. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Mataji.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Krishna. Hare Krishna,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna,
Thank you.
Mataji.